You're not gonna tempt me.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to what we thought might be the last episode of Temptation Island this year, but it's not the last episode of Temptation Island this year. It's the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Stephen.
And my name is Mixie. We are here to recap. What episode is this?
It's 10.
We are here to recap episode 10 of Temptation Island Final Bonfire Part 1. They drug this out for 2 parts. We knew it was going to come this way. There was a lot of fast forwarding happening in my neck of the woods. Steven, I'm going to assume same for you.
Yeah. Fast forwarding. I just love the idea that back in the day you could fast forward with a remote. Now I have to do some clicky things on the computer to fast forward. It's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Well, back in the day, you used to have to sit through these episodes because fast forwarding didn't exist.
Facts.
And that was when life was hard, you know? That was the problems that we were dealing with.
Could only record one thing at a time unless you were fancy and 2 VCRs in the house. Oh my God.
Tough
an incredible experience. It was tough. Well, if this is your first time finding us after God knows how many episodes, hi. Welcome to The Right Reality. We have a slow episode, but you know what? We thought we could just probably combine these into one for Final Bonfire, and then we discuss and we go, no, we have to be here for our community.
Yeah, you guys need us. You rely on us. Was it painful to watch 3/4 of this episode? Yes. But the only reason you got through that episode is because you were thinking in the back of your head, oh, but I got to know what the right reality is going to talk about.
Exactly.
So we can't disappoint you like they disappointed you with this episode. So we're here. I will say they made up for it in my mind with the Secrets Revealed episode. Holy shit. Incredible. We're not going to talk in detail about it, but I mean, Stephen, let's just discuss it a little bit right now. I mean, I think I wrote in the hotties that they shouldn't have called it Secrets Revealed. It should have been Temptation Island, the episode for the right reality, because it was made for us.
How would it not? If you watch that episode and you listen to this podcast, you listen to the number one and go, oh, this is purely fodder for the right reality to try to steal another episode out of our souls for them. Mm-hmm. And you know what? They almost got us. They almost tricked us into doing it because this was perfectly crafted for me and for Mix. I mean, there was a whole ass segment.
There was a whole Mr. Marky Mark pulling the curtain and revealing that he's talking to empty couches.
Shocking.
We never said it directly, but we hinted at it. There was, a beautiful moment between Tajik and Mark and Sebi. And his dangle earring. All 4 of them were in the same room together. It was beautiful. I mean, it was amazing. If you did not watch The Secrets Revealed, figure out how to watch The Secrets Revealed. It is absolutely worth it, without a doubt. It even made me forgive Hall a little bit.
Hall's main thing during this was he was trying to track down the frog/bird that invaded the last episode that we did, and he wanted to murder it, and rightfully so, because if I was trying to lay in that bed, I would murder it. Here's the other thing that I also found very fascinating. You know who didn't get a fun segment out of all this, unfortunately? Maricela. They kind of ghosted her. They gave her nothing other than having her stand in the corner at the beginning and look miserable at Respectable Whore.
Yeah.
She didn't get a fun segment. Everybody else got fun segments.
You're right. She didn't get a fun segment. Justice for Maricela, because I do think that she was fun. I mean, I would have liked a dancing compilation from her, or just different positions she was in with great hair guy. That would have been nice. Anything.
I would have liked a segment of her talking to camera, just getting gradually more intoxicated as it went.
That would have been amazing. Drunk Maricela is fantastic.
I would have liked sober, and then as we get further along in the edit, her eyes just get a little bit more closed, right? Yeah. As we saw a couple weeks ago, she's just like, I just like when he touches me. They made fun of our girl Oates for saying I don't know 1,000 times, and they had a counter like we would do. It's like we made that episode.
We we got a shot of Maricela eating food very sexually, so I will say that they did highlight that a little bit. I loved every second of it. Mark's like intros for each one of them, especially when he was expecting them to cut and they didn't and they kept rolling. I mean, just chef's kiss. I loved it so much. And like I said, it made up for the serious lack of entertainment that was the final Bonfire Part 1.
They let Mark cook, as the kids say, I think.
And he cooked a fucking Thanksgiving feast, that man. Woo! He made a chicken salad.
Okay. Uncalled for, but, you know, not going to say I was right, but I was right. Clearly, everybody knows what chicken salad is.
Okay, let's get into the chicken salads of it all. Okay?
You've been like drafting briefs ready to go on this, so go ahead.
I haven't. I was right, as I always am. That saying doesn't exist. The saying is making chicken salad out of chicken shit. You only said the first part, and as I stated, where was the chicken coming from? And if you had said the phrase correctly, the confusion would have been non-existent.
Okay. I think everybody who is not biased in this conversation would remember that we said there wasn't a lot going on. It was kind of a crappy episode. There wasn't much there. But I said, we're going to make chicken salad out of it. I said continually scraps. I think I get pretty close to that. By what I said. Did I say it exactly 100%? No.
And that's it. And that's it. And that's it. Did you say it exactly 100%? The answer was, Stephen?
No, I never
claimed
but that's it.
But that's it. But that's
no,
it. But that's it.
No.
But that's all it is.
No.
Did you say it right? No. Was I right? Yes.
I think everybody can go back and listen to that conversation and see that I was getting at what I was trying to get at.
It shouldn't be that complicated.
We're making chicken salad out of it. I was like, we're going to make chicken salad out of it.
Out of what? Was the question I was continuously asking. All you had to say was chicken shit. That's it, but you didn't know the saying, and that's the point I'm making.
Yeah, it's the episode of shit. We tried to make chicken salad out of it.
Where was the chicken?
Doesn't need to be there. What, you think there was okay, if there was an actual chicken in the episode, would it have been okay then?
Yes, it would have made more sense.
Chicken on screen?
But it still wouldn't have been the right saying because the saying is making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Are you okay in that chair there? Because it looks like you're reaching pretty far.
I am very close. I am basically on top of it. There is no reach.
So. Lots of reach. Lots of reach.
You can't sit here and tell me. You know what? I'm going to be the bigger person here. Am I right? Oh. Yes.
No.
But am I going to just pull a Rob and instead of arguing with somebody that can't understand logic and just take the L? That's fine. I'll do it. I am Rob. You are Vanessa. As long as
how dare you? How dare you? We're going to end this episode right now. That's the worst thing you could have said to me. How dare you? What an escalation.
That's the reaction that happened at the end of the episode, and this is why I am Robin, you are Vanessa, and it's fine. It's fine.
What an absolute escalation there. It sounds like somebody who's definitely reaching and definitely scared to be wrong for the first time in their entire life.
No, it sounds like someone that has to take L's in order to keep the peace, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm the bigger person.
I love the fact that Rob in that moment said, man, I was going to come in here and just absolutely roast you. And he's like, then I chose not to do that.
Yeah, and I was like, why didn't you?
Damn it, Rob. We're making a TV show, Roberto.
It would have been great. Would have loved it. Would have made this episode way better. But let's start from the beginning. We are at the girls' villa. Everybody's coming back from their dates that were a snooze fest. And like the gates of heaven opened and floating down into the house, we have our savior, Mr. Marky Mark, stunning blue eyes. I need a link to that shirt. Drop me a link, sir. An absolute must shirt to have. His eyes were popping off that thing.
When are they not?
But it was just like, I truly choked on the Sprite I was drinking because I couldn't handle the glow. I mean, just the aura. and I was getting it off the TV screen.
There should have been a warning on the screen. Put down your Sprites, finish your beverages. We're about to show you Mr. Mark and Mark's beautiful eyes that might make you choke on your Sprites.
I agree. And then they're saying goodbye. Who cares? There are a few things that happened during this that made me laugh out loud. First off, Vanessa and Bryce, they are saying goodbye. And she like snuggles up onto him and her eyes are closed and his eyes are like, they're not open. They're like this. He is staring at production like, are we almost done with this? This is the last 30 seconds. I would really appreciate it if we could be done. The stare he had in his eyes was just like, oh my God, I'm finally about to. He could smell it. He could taste it in the air. He was about to be free from her clutches and he couldn't wait any longer.
He was just like, get me my check so I can get out of here relatively unscathed.
Yeah.
Relatively unscathed. But as we all know, that doesn't necessarily mean anything in this world.
It doesn't.
He could have got absolutely railroaded at some point and just like pulled into, like, as they go by, she could have just teleported and pulled him into a closet and like locked him in there. It's like, I'm going to keep you in here for later.
Well, as she said later, and we will touch on it, he served his purpose. God forbid he be a human being and we respect him or care about his feelings or anything. He served his purpose.
He served his purpose.
Who fucking cares?
Just like a fucking dish towel. You served your purpose. You cleaned my dish. Now I'm just going to throw you away. I could put you in the laundry and like make you whole again, but no, you served your purpose.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So, Caitlin, we see her and a man of some sorts, but all I can see is this like earring that's dangling constantly. They were having a conversation. Who cares? Great. Oh my goodness. Tajik and Croissant.
Whoa. Freudian slip.
Yeah, Freudian for sure. She says another iconic line.
It's unbelievable how she just constantly does this.
It's amazing. She says, I don't want you in my life if you're not my man.
Wow.
Incredible. Does she care about the friendship? No. She either wants to be sleeping with him or he's gone.
It's one or the other. Pick a lane.
And I respect that from her. The guys leave and the girls cried more at this time than they did at the beginning of the season when they left their actual boyfriends.
Of many years.
Yes.
Yeah.
A quote unquote.
Yeah. Of many DMs.
We go to the guy's villa, and the same situations are happening. Christopher had a conversation with Alexis that scared the shit out of me. And I know I've touched on this before, but sometimes that man has crazy in his eyes, unlike anything I've seen before. And this was one of those situations. She says, I'm scared she's going to say something to get you back, or something along those lines. Does he respond? No. Does he just do this?
Oh, she's just staring right at me, guys.
Stare down. No words were said. They cut to another thing. Okay.
Thanks for that. They had to put some sort of doubt in your head that these two weren't already moved on to their new phases of their life. They had to go, well, you know, maybe she could say something that would get you back. That's the no. She clearly moved on. He's clearly moved on. What is she going to say at this point? You think Chris is gonna? I mean, we all saw Chris's reaction when he saw her in the bed with someone else. He's like, I was going to propose to her before this.
To the streets with her.
To the streets, exactly.
That was uncomfortable, and I mean, I could say it right now, or we could say it later. I would put every penny that I have and every penny I'm going to get in the next year.
Okay.
That Alexis and Christopher are not still together. Not a chance did these two make it out of this alive.
As of right now, as of August?
Yes.
August 13th?
Yep, not a chance in hell.
Yeah, because again, this was filmed, October of last year? Something like that? October, November? Something
I think so.
in that range?
Yeah, the prom sign said 2022, so...
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's almost a year at this point by the time this is done airing. Yeah, I don't think so. Do you think they made it a couple months, or do you think they made it at all?
They weren't in the same city, are they?
I don't think so.
Weeks. He didn't. I think that, and no shade to Alexis, I like her a lot. I don't think that they're meant to be together. I think that he wanted to be like, oh, well, Maricela's moved on. Well, I found a girl and I'm leaving with her. Not because he actually cared about her, just to be like, well, I found somebody.
That was one of the things that struck me during this entire thing. I'm supposed to believe all 8 of these people develop relationships with somebody else in the villa. Like, the odds of that are so astronomical.
Non-existent.
They're just not. Like, let's call it what it was. It just didn't happen. It was done correctly for television, but it was definitely not what was really happening.
What kind of love was it, Stephen?
Oh, man, it's vacation love.
Vacation love.
I had a whole thing down here in my notes about when Maricela at her moment says, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. Just a classic line. I hate this line, Mixie. I hate it so much. You're meeting someone new and hot, and you're excited because you're on a Hawaiian island and you're getting to do great dates and great trips, and you have no responsibilities. You can wake up when you like waking up, obviously. It doesn't last because what is it again? It's vacation love.
It's vacation love. And I respect her for not even taking it out of vacation. She knew what it was.
Yeah.
And she was good with that, and that was it for her. And good for her. And great hair guy. You have great hair. Smash. Let's discuss a little bit more in the house before we go to the recaps that I did not watch. I straight up just did not watch them.
You mean the recaps of all the people?
Yeah, the recaps of Rob, Roberto, and Vanessa, and the recap of Maricela and Christopher that I did not consume at all.
I actually started doing my taxes for next year because I was that fucking bored during all of that. And I get it. You got to do that. We got to stretch. I got to remember why they got together. But you know what? 10 minutes maybe? Give me 10 of that. Give me a good 10, not like a 20.
10 of all of them together. Like,
yeah.
As a total, that should be it.
At most.
I don't need all of this other bullshit. Well, okay. Something happened in the men's villa that we need to discuss because I feel like it's going to get glazed over considering this was a boring episode.
Okay.
Hall told Michaela he's in love with her, and Michaela returned the statement.
I love you was the exact quote. Vacation love. Vacation love. Hot girl love. It happens. I don't know how many times I have to say that this season. If it just happens, okay? It just happens. I'm shocked that it actually happened, but it happened. It was, I don't want to say jaw-dropping because at this point, it was clear we were getting here, right? It was clear he was super infatuated with her.
Yes, but I thought he was smart enough to know the difference between those two things. And even again, if he's not, the disrespect for Caitlyn is through the ceiling. Through the ceiling. I mean, he knows she's going to watch this. He knows that her family is going to be watching this, all of that. And you tell this girl out of nowhere that you've known for how many weeks? 3, if we're being nice and generous. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You have ended an 8-year relationship that you, quote, never had real feelings about to be with this woman that you've known for 3 weeks, and you're going to tell her you love her?
He just says things. It is a bold decision to do this. However, let's say we are now again here at August 13th and these two are still together and they're really in love. Is it weird that he knew that at that point if they're still together and these two end up going the distance for a year or 2 or 3 or get together? I don't think so. I think that's what he was really feeling at the time, but you're right. You're right that I don't know. Part of me thinks he was saying it to kind of like calm her down a bit, but that's not what you can just throw out there if that's the situation. She was clearly rattled. I think she thought he's going to go back there. Oates is going to say something. He's going to cave, and then I'm going to get totally devastated.
After all of this, you think now he's going to cave? He told her.
No, she thought that.
I know. I'm saying that to her, like, come on, girl. And, like, also, the whole time prior to him going to Caitlyn and breaking it off, from what we've seen, there was no kissing, there was no real touching, there was none of that. He definitely went and fucked her last night in this timeline of things.
Yeah.
It's done. Like, it's done.
Yeah. That would be worse to do it now, right?
There's 12,000 nails in the coffin at this point. Like, that body is not coming back.
It can't.
I just thought it was uncalled for.
Again, I'm trying to go and think about this as a situation. This is the guy who 2 episodes said, I had not had an emotional connection with you ever. And now he's throwing out, I love you. It tracks. It 100% tracks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just, this whole, we're learning on Temptation Island. We're growing. We're changing. Bullshit. This guy is just saying what he thinks she needs to hear in order for things to be good between them. Again, that's the whole reason he said he got back with Caitlyn. He felt bad for her.
True.
He knew she was a good person, so he just said what he needed to say to be back with her. And in my opinion, that's what's happening now.
It is, but everybody does this. Everybody in every relationship does this. No?
No.
I think there are people in relationships who just say things to say things.
Yes, and that's not a healthy relationship. And the point I'm making is that he has not learned anything. He has just pivoted to the same thing, same problems with a different person with bigger tits. And that's all that's happened.
Hey, I mean, if you can get them, good for you.
No hate, no shade.
No hate.
You got nice boobies. Good for you.
Good for you.
Can't relate.
Good for you.
That being said, we got to see the goodbyes from the girls. It was emotional. The girls and guys say goodbye from the guys' villa. We got a nice little patty pat on Miss Michaela's ass being this week's
Whoa!
Ass of the week. Ass of the week. Of the week.
So we go all season, and she gets it in this episode.
It was the most ass I got in the episode. I wanted to give it to her because she's been putting in the work, just not as much as everybody else. And I finally got a little something at the end. It was a nice little patty pat to camera. It was a haul. It was Hall from Hall & Oates. You know, he was doing his drums.
Okay. See, I thought it was going to be a little bit later with Alexis when she left the bonfire in that dress. It looked like someone like...
That was lower back of the week.
Okay.
Lower back of the week.
Lower back of the week. New sounder right here. First one ever.
There you go. It was too drapey over her butt. If it was like a tighter dress on her ass,
okay,
there was too much fabric. And Michaela's was nice and tight, and we were getting straight shots of it with a little up, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, Christ. You're right. You're right. I am mistaken. I kind of blocked it out of my mind because right after this is where my mind just shut off for about 20-25 minutes.
Well, I would like to state really quickly, he sits the guys down and explains to them what the final bonfire is going to be. And they once again put my guy Mark on a wooden stool with no cushion whatsoever. Justice for Mark's ass. I will be filing a complaint. I am sick of this treatment of this man. He does so much, and his ass must hurt so bad. I know his back hurts from carrying this show at some points, but his ass?
How dare you?
Disappointed.
What are we supposed to do in this circumstance? Not look out for this man's ass?
Someone's got to do it.
We're just supposed to pretend like it doesn't hurt sitting on these stools? Like, get this man a comfortable chair. We see in Secrets Revealed, if you can get him a comfortable chair, he can just weave magical television moments.
Put him in a bed with 2 dudes.
And he's just like, he's wooden because he has to be.
He's stiff.
Hey, yeah, you're right. He got in bed with the 2 guys. He just snuck in the bed. What a big time play by our boy.
He's an icon.
Secrets revealed. Watch it now.
Treat him like the icon he is. Praise be Mark's ass. I feel as though it is in a lot of pain, and I'm sorry for you, Mr. Marky Mark. You let us know. I can get you some butt pads or something. Let me help you in your butt.
Yeah. We'll get you a comfy chair, like a nice, like big chair. Maybe a throne, if you will. Maybe like a comfy throne.
Well, he did tell Caitlin to find a man that would build her a throne. We will be that man for Mr. Marky Mark.
I can build 2. I'm already building the first one for Caitlin.
Yeah, you're building Caitlin, so you might as well just make a second one.
I mean, he'll just ask him what type of fabric he wants. He obviously should be a collection of his shirts, because he's been wearing great
genius.
shirts.
I would like it to be blue like his eyes.
I
don't want a bit of wood on it. I don't want him to be triggered by any wood on it whatsoever.
Great point. I'm sorry about that. You're so right.
There was a bunch of stuff about a recap. I skipped it. Who cares? We're going to the final bonfires. We are starting with Respectable Whore and Maricela. Maricela looked fantastic. Who dressed Respectable Whore? And while we're at it, who dressed Vanessa? And why are we dressing them like they're on Jersey Shore season 2?
Not great fits. I think they're dressing themselves. I don't think anybody was there to go, not the best. But I do think Chris at this point was just going through the motions. He understood, hey, I just got to show up. I got to do a little speech here, and then I can go on my way. I ain't got to do anything else. What am I going to get dressed up for at this point? Nah. It's like I'm running to McDonald's real quick in the morning and getting a sausage McMuffin with egg. I don't need to dress up for that. Just got to put a shirt on.
I can definitely see that. I am curious. Who decides who talks first at the bonfires? Is it production? Is it Mark? Or is it just the guys go first every time? Because in this situation, the guys went first both times.
I think we'll know next week if all the guys go first that it's that. But I think it clearly has to be who they think is going to say more things that might trigger the other person to say something. They obviously wanted Vanessa to go second because they wanted to see when Rob Roberto would just start going on a rant. I was waiting for her to say something.
Well, she's selective hearing again, so.
They made it very clear that you need to not say anything while they are speaking the first time. And I'm like, oh, that means somebody is definitely going to, say something when they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait for that to be Vanessa. But that did not happen. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's, I think it's just production.
I think that it's a very important decision. Somebody has to be making this decision because how the first conversation goes is going to depend on the other person's response. I mean, are they supposed to sit and listen and not respond? Yes. Did both of the girls respond to stuff that the guys were saying? Yes. I mean, they waited for their turn, but they immediately brought up things that the other person had brought up. So I also think that if the person that goes first speaks their truth and all of that, then the girls can decide, okay, it seems like they're interested in getting back together with me. I'm going to pivot my original speech to this.
Right.
Or vice versa. I think that the power of the original conversation being
huge.
Like, I just think it's very important. I think it changes the trajectory of the whole conversation. I mean, if Vanessa went first, maybe Rob wouldn't have been so gung-ho to attack her as much as he did, because he would have realized, oh, she seems like she wants to get back together with me.
Since we are the number one, obviously, and we are the best at what we do in the business, and it's not even close, I'm going to put you in the role of production here, Mix. And I'm going to ask you now, without knowing what we know from these conversations, I'm going to give you the 2 lineups. I'm going to give you Chris and Maricela. I'm going to give you Rob and Gom Girl. Who are you allowing to speak first in this?
Both of those, I think the right person was selected.
Correct.
Now, if we go to the other couples, I think I would give it to Paris first. And I think I would give it to Caitlyn first.
I'm going to go Hall first.
Okay.
I think that's the way they're going to go.
I think we'll see. Like I think either way, Croissant should go first in there, and I think she's going to trigger great, and they're just going to scream at each other.
Oh, and I can't wait for that. And I absolutely cannot wait for all of that to happen.
And I think that's what they were trying to do with Rob, but she was
Yes.
so selective with her hearing. Again, it seems to be a trend at these last few bonfires for her.
At the bonfires or in her entire life?
Well,
It's not just something you happen to find at the bonfire. But, yeah.
not incorrect. She was collecting data points. Okay, Stephen, so.
Oh, data points? That data points line fucking threw me. I said at that point, I go, she said data points. I need to get myself, I don't drink at home. I need to get myself an ice cold fucking beer right now because this is going to be amazing. And then she was just sitting there. I was like, wait, we'll get to that. Let's finish with Respectable Whore and Maricela.
We'll start with Respectable Whore and Maricela.
I'd like to ask you about his speech. His speech to her, I wrote it was a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
He accepted his role and what had happened. He laid some fault on himself. He didn't really blame her for really anything in that segment, I thought.
Yeah.
And he just said, he was honest. I saw you. It broke me. I moved on. I'm very happy for you. You seem happy. That's all I want. I love you so much. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
And I think she was not expecting that.
I agree.
I think she was expecting him to kind of do what happened in the second part there where they were like, she didn't need to go, why didn't you send me a message? If you're over it and it doesn't matter, the only thing I could think of as production was like, can you guys at least talk about something? Because they were like, oh, we don't really have anything else to say. They're like, can you ask him why he didn't send you a video message? Because I'm sure that's what people are asking.
Yeah.
But I was expecting a little bit more fireworks from that.
Yeah, I was too, but it was very respectful. Like I keep saying that this episode was boring. It was boring because they were being emotionally mature, and I don't turn on reality TV to see people be emotionally mature about stuff. Like, I'm very happy for the two of them. They really, I felt like, dealt with the problem and moved on. Like, I will be shocked if there's animosity between the two of them at the reunion because of this, unless stuff that Maricela did that she had promised not to do and he saw it later. I think
unless
that
it comes out that he said, oh, you said you didn't do anything and you guys were sleeping with each other the entire time since week 3.
Did she say that?
Didn't she said in the whole thing, like, oh, we're just exploring ourselves physically without having sex. And I was like,
I thought she said that like halfway through, not at the end.
Well, that's what I'm insinuating is
okay.
like she said that, but that was not actually true.
I don't know. Who knows if they had sex or not? It's just such a gray area, and like we'll never know because production can't be like they did because that's kind of
we have thermal imaging cameras in there where we can clearly see things disappearing. Yeah,
I was happy that she, said that she kept wanting to be good enough for him and then realized that she is and she doesn't need to do anything. Very happy to hear. I feel like a lot of women struggle with that. It was just a very mature and calm conversation. And honestly, it was the hottest Chris has ever been in my eyes.
Yeah, there was people shitting all over Chris for like the first 3 or 4 weeks of this show. And if you look at the segment on that Secrets Revealed, where those two girls were like trying to like push him into like yelling at them, and he's like, no, I'm just walking away. Like, it was very clear what it was. It was the same two girls. It was Tammy and somebody else.
Abby.
And they were trying to like get him to fuck up. Because I'm sure there might have been like a little, hey, I mean, I think you guys can like get him over. You need to like say something to him to like get him over the edge, right? That's what these people's jobs are too. They're trying to make great television, and I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Abby at one point said something like, Chris said that I have a terrible personality or something. I was like, oh, production planted that seed to see what would happen. He definitely didn't say that. Why would he say that? That's such a random, like, what?
Yeah, like he's going to sit in the ITM and go, hey, I think she's got a terrible personality. No, I don't think so.
This was the best I saw from Chris. It made me not so scared of him. I just, I think that things boil over in his head, and he knows, as we stated, he knows to leave the situation and knows maybe not to open his mouth, but the eyes tell a lot, and that scares me sometimes. But this was hot. The whole situation was hot. Maricela looked fantastic. He fucking did his thing. I still stand by. I think he took Alexis with him to be like, I'm leaving with someone. And then Maricela was like, I'm leaving alone because I'm happy with myself. And he was like,
yeah,
fuck, that was a good one. Should have done that.
I do think he did have a good connection with Alexis, but I don't know how many of these things work outside the house. We talked about it no matter what show this is. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the history of all the seasons, but I don't think anything has happened outside of here. And I'm sure people are going to go, oh, well, this from this season and that. That's fine. The issue, however, is I don't think it's set up for these people to have anything outside of the house. But I also don't think that's what the role of the show is. Mm-hmm. If they wanted that, I think they would get certain people. I think the casting would be different.
Yeah, they're just casting hot people.
Why wouldn't you? That's kind of the idea.
Exactly.
Like, we want you to get tempted first because that's the best part. We're not filming you after you leave here in your non-existent relationship. So that doesn't matter to us. What matters is you want to, like, bang all these people and eat ass. That's what we want on this television show. And again, there was a whole segment on the other show about eating ass. Again, you can't tell us that wasn't made for us. The editor, shout out team editing, was like, hey, we got enough clips to make another show. Shout out Right Reality. Like, I want to go back through there and make sure they didn't put, like, the Right Reality, like, hidden somewhere in text for us, just like right at the bottom, like when people hide like their like person's at the bottom of an Instagram story, and they're just like casually putting it there, and you can't click on it because it's like right in the corner. It just switches you to the next story, and you're like, God damn it!
Yep. I
think that's
exactly
what they did. Shout out.
That's
Shout
exactly
out
what it was.
Editing team. We love you. We love you.
We loved
appreciate
it.
That.
Mark loved this. He said that this was a model conversation for mature conversation. I agree. I loved how happy Mark was for the both of them. Like I said, Maricela was beaming. That power walk away from her, that sashay away, it reminded me of Annie walking away from Mr. McBee in Joe Millionaire.
You're trying to make him, oh my goodness. I don't need
the
to be
walk
thrown
away.
back to that. I need to be thrown back to that mentally right now. I don't think I can handle that.
But seriously, it was just like such a powerful walk away. I loved it for her. I am sad that she's not with Good Hair Guy, but obviously it wasn't going to work out. They were just fuck buddies if we're being realistic. So
he served his purpose.
Well, she didn't say that, so that was nice of her to not say that.
I think we all know what these people's purpose is there for.
Well, according to Mark,
but it's their journey. It's their journey too.
The journey is for them too.
It seems like, if I'm being brutally honest about this, it seems like there was a conversation somewhere in the upper echelons of USA HR and was like, can we just say this is like the singles is like part of their journey so we don't seem like they're just like hot toys in our like game here? And they're like, but it's not really their journey. That's all right. Nobody's going to say anything.
It doesn't matter. I think so too, because I don't remember anything like this last year of them giving any slight fucks about the singles.
No. I'm sure the singles are like all in one room with like 12 bunk beds, and they're like forced to like ride on a bike in order to get any power to charge like their hair dryers or something like that.
We do
right?
never see their living conditions.
No, we don't. We don't see any living conditions whatsoever. That's why I believe they're like sleeping on the floor somewhere with bugs running all over them.
Well, the thing that solidified to me that Alexis and Christopher were not going to make it past, they do a little exit interview, the two of them standing there. Christopher looks at the fucking camera and says, I can't believe I'm leaving here not engaged to Maricela. Next to his new girlfriend.
Jesus
Can you
Christ.
think of anything
Jesus
worse to
Christ.
me? The whole show you're on that you've met this person on has been all about this girl. You finally are dating this guy. She's finally out of the picture. And the first thing he says is, I thought I was going to propose to her.
Alexis, we know you listen. Message us and tell us if that was the moment you're like, yeah, this is a mistake.
I think she knew it before.
Yeah.
I think she just rode with it for the show. No hate, no shade. I think that's fantastic. Good for you, girl. Have the fucking time of your life. No chance did she think this was going anywhere. No chance.
No chance. And we will keep your response anonymous.
Yeah, I just want to know.
We just want to know. Let us know. Let us know. Let's move to the real show. Rob and Gone Girl. 35 minutes in, and I knew we were getting cliffhangered. And I was disappointed, but I also expected it.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I was surprised that it was with them.
Okay.
I thought it would have been a croissant great special. Because I know how much Croissant hates Nafisa, and then Nafisa would have come out and like all of that. So I was thinking it was going to be something along those lines, but they picked Rob and Vanessa. Okay. Vanessa comes down that hill out of breath, fully out of breath. Just, did you hear?
Fighting for her life.
Hi, Mark. Hi.
I decided to wear an outfit that I have walked down this ramp 27 times. And I knew I should not wear heels like this. But you know what? I wanted to show him what he had been missing. And so I decided to fight for my life coming down this hill in these heels, in this tight ass outfit.
It was hilarious. She had her best Snooki impression on. Good for her. Happy for her. What a fit. We sit down and Rob just word vomits. I mean, word vomits. You could tell he had something in his head, and then immediately was just like, and then this, and also this, and then this, and also this, that too, and this, and I forgot to say that before. And then at one point he just stops and he goes, oh, "This is a lot."
Because I do this for a living. I'm in my head going, "This was a fucking nightmare to cut together." You can hear it.
Yep.
And I go, "This is a nightmare." That they're sifting through like 15 minutes of him just going off, trying to make something rational. And it was at this point that I go, they can't do all of these in one night, can they? This cannot be over the course of one night. This would take forever to do all these one night. But yeah. I think they do. And I think when we get to the last episode, when we get to like Hall & Oates, we might get like the sun coming up.
I think I agree with you on that.
There's no way.
You could tell. Well, in the Secrets Revealed, they showed a shot of him like asleep on Mr. Marky Mark asleep on the bench in that fit. Like, I mean, he must have been going through it. That guy. I got upset with my guy Rob because he kept spitting facts, and I'm sitting there like, hell yeah, man, fucking tell her.
I wrote down, go Rob, go Rob, go Rob, go Rob, go.
And then he says that he's had his own faults in the relationship. And he says, and I quote, "I never knew how to communicate my feelings or my emotions. Probably because she wouldn't let you."
Facts.
Not your thing to apologize for.
Facts.
At all.
Facts.
At all.
What's he supposed to do?
Exactly. When somebody talks to you like that, he said multiple times that he would just take an L because when he would start saying something that was his feelings or was his emotions, he would be screamed at. So why are you apologizing for not being able to communicate? It's just like, wake up, my guy Rob. I'm going to be so mad if they leave together.
I don't know how you process those things in that moment. He's had that long to sit there and go, I've been talking to Des, and Des doesn't jump down my throat when I say something. Mm-hmm. And he's going to see in like 10 minutes when she asks one simple question, her reaction to something so very simple.
Yeah.
That honestly isn't that terrible. And she has that type of reaction. So this is, I think that's going to be the turning point. I think he was going to say yes. I think he said, I owe it to myself and to you to try this again. That way I don't feel like I gave up on something that I think had potential. And then she reacts like that right at the end. And I think that's going to be his turning point where he goes, you had all this time and you can't even hear something as simple as like, I slept in a bed with a woman, but nothing happened. and you not lose your godforsaken mind in front of these television cameras and act like a goddamn fool. I'm out. You clearly didn't learn anything. You didn't learn how to control your emotions or anything, which is all I've ever asked for you to do.
Yep.
And I've grown to be able to talk about it.
It's fucking crazy that she's going that batshit over him sleeping in a bed with this other girl, but we haven't even touched on the fact that he was dry humping her on the couch. That's okay, but he went to bed in the same bed with her and didn't do anything, and that's a problem? I don't understand. I don't understand.
You rubbing your hands all over Bryce is not as bad as them sleeping in the same bed with each other. If nothing happened, no, ma'am. No, man, this has always been 2 sets of rules for her and 1 set of rules for him. And no, he's not allowed to do anything. Mm-hmm. She's allowed to just create whatever alternate reality she wants to live in, as people like this do, and just go, well, that rule doesn't apply to me because I don't like that rule. You can't be in a relationship. There
was so many things that she said back to him after this that just, it sent me.
Please go over these.
First off, he ended the speech and looked so scared. Did you see him every time they started cutting back to him when she started talking? Yes. He was literally shaking or just fidgeting in general, like could not sit still.
He's having flashbacks of how he knows a conversation like this would normally go.
The first thing she said is, "Thank you for sharing." Immediately, I would punch my hand through a wall. Then, after that, she says, "I'm proud of you." So condescending. It's... She has learned nothing. Nothing. Not a thing.
She has learned how to try to work herself around this by, again, creating her alternate universe. She has always thought the problem was him. Always the problem was him. I love how he, like, the main thing for me that I love is that he, in his word vomit, said all the things he's ever wanted to say finally in a safe space. You told me when we needed to be engaged, when to have kids, when to, like, all of these things. He, like, went down a list of all the things he has had issues with.
Thank you for sharing that.
Like, he's in some sort of fucking therapy session. She's the fucking person giving therapy. It's like, there's, I'm trying to remember that movie. I can't remember it now. Anyway, Kathy Bates. Anywho, she at one point said after, "Thank you for sharing that," says, "You were right about a lot of my flaws." And then they cut to Mr. Marky Mark and he's like, "What the fuck did you say?" Like, his eyes were like, oh my God. It might have been one of the funniest things ever seen on the show. He was like, did she just say he was right about something? Especially about a flaw that she doesn't believe she has any of? And she then said she never felt the desire to do anything physical or intimate with Bryce because she loves Rob Roberto.
And he served his purpose. Don't you forget.
Yeah.
Bryce served his purpose.
She continued by saying, I didn't like, hold on. She then said, this is my note. This is how confusing it is because I write my notes about her and I don't realize if it's me in my head or a crazy person in my head. You didn't need to get physical with somebody to come to your conclusions about me.
Yes, and she was saying that Bryce served the purpose of being like an emotional person for her because, God forbid, he have feelings or anything. He served his purpose for her, so out with him. To the garbage with Bryce. It's basically what she said, which was awful, in my opinion. That might have been one of the worst things she said. That's like basically going back to her being like, I'm not going to lower my standards to be with Rob. Like, yeah, that's just so dehumanizing to say that about a person. They've served their purpose.
Was the purpose, it seems like the purpose was just for you to come here so you could have a relaxing vacation with a hot guy and he would do all the work because it doesn't seem like you did anything.
Yep, and he would ask you.
You didn't need to do anything physical with her to come to your conclusions about me. I don't like that. You don't get to make that decision. It's Temptation Island, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's literally the point.
That's the whole point of the show. You do this, and then you go, yeah, I like that situation better. And in his case, Des doesn't want to crazy murder me if I ever say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I go, hey, do you want pizza tonight? You know I can't eat pizza. I will murder you.
Then the cherry on top of this whole thing, she talks about how she didn't talk to anybody in the house about the clips, which, and she said that she wanted to have the men in the house view her, and she wanted to, quote, collect multiple data points about herself and her personality, I guess, and how she deals with emotion. I don't know. I was like, what the fuck is this? A work proposal? Are you fucking like, what?
What's your hypothesis here? What's the control?
Could we circle back? I need to mull on this. Like, what the fuck is that?
Can we put a pin in this until the next meeting?
Are you guys free to chat?
I'm still doing a deep dive on our data points. They're getting run through algorithms.
I need to review the analytics before we could sit down and discuss our relationship.
I have a mathematician looking over our data points and correlations with graphs and charts and Bunsen burners.
I just, at that point, I was just like, fuck this. Like, honestly, her whole, like, calm demeanor with the smile and everything, all an act. She just wants to be back with him so she can bulldoze him all over again. And it got exposed at the very last second when she asked if he went to bed with another girl, and he said yes. And all hell broke loose.
She got up and tried to walk away, and he's like, hold on. I was like, no, just let her go.
Yeah, bye.
At what point? You've been saying this the entire time, Rob Roberto. Let her go, man. Just stop. Just stop. At any point, if she had really learned, it would be this point, learning how to control the emotions. I understand sometimes when you're like, they're doing this ping pong back and forth, that sometimes, but it was literally the first thing that she said, right? When they could have a conversation. Yeah.
I mean, unless it was edited weird, but it didn't really seem that way. I feel like that was the first question she asked him.
Unbelievable how this just divulged, but I love it so much. I'd watch it for hours of this.
I hope the next episode they show Mark while she's doing this freak out, because that was the one thing I was missing, was seeing Mark's face.
I want a 2-camera up.
Yeah, let's split screen it. That would be great.
Give me a 4K. Actually, give me all of them. I want to see
every
all
camera.
Yeah, I want to look like I'm in the production truck. I just want to see all of the angles, please. I'll pay extra for that.
I would too. That would be great for, what is it, Peacock or whatever the fuck they're streaming on?
Oh, yeah, Peacock. Yeah.
Peacock? That was the episode. I mean, I knew they were going to put us on a cliffhanger. I was upset that it was with those two, but whatever. What do you think? You think that they're getting together or no?
No, I'm going now. No. I was saying yes before that blow up. No. I think he's going to calm her down, but I think he's going to go. I just don't think you've learned enough for me to really do this.
I don't think he has the balls. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get back together with her.
Wow, that would be incredible. The other thing I want to go back to real quick before, because I completely forgot about this, but in the moment I was like, oh, that's strange. Like Chris and Maricela are like hugging, and they're like, okay, well, thank you for everything. I love you so much. It's been great being on the journey. I hope you're really happy going forward. They live in the same fucking house. Like they got to go back, and one of them's got to move out, I think, right?
I don't remember if they do. I know Caitlin and Hall do.
I feel like they were in the same place. I could be wrong.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
That's funnier though if they're like, all right, good luck to you. All right, so Wednesday when we get back, can I come get my stuff?
Do you want to share a taxi cab back from the airport just to our place to make it easier?
I mean, we're on the same flight, so I feel like it would be easier, right? Yeah. So we'll do that, and then I'm supposed to meet my family. Oh, we were all supposed to meet. Oh God, what do we say? Do you want to like meet for coffee on Tuesday, and we'll come up with a plan on what to say that doesn't violate our NDA?
Too fucking funny. Too fucking funny. I'm excited for the next Bonfire so that we're one episode closer to the reunion, which is what I actually am excited about. I would say we'll tweet about it, but for unknown reasons, I can't tweet.
Bizarre. Tim Apple has now infected Elon. Steve goes to one Taylor Swift show, and they will not let Mixie tweet about the show.
I had so many great tweets for last week's episode. None of them would go through. I was fully spiraling about it. And so I'm sorry, guys, for the lack of tweets on last week's episode. Steven's back. He will get back into doing it because apparently he's the only one that's allowed to tweet. I think Steven didn't want me to take the thunder, and he blocked my number and IP address somehow. But we don't need to get into that conspiracy. I think he's mad about the chicken shit thing.
Listen.
And we're
What? Okay, Gone Girl. Okay, Gone Girl.
I'm being really
Gone Girl.
rational. I think everything I'm saying is correct.
Real
I'm kidding.
Gone
I
Girl.
think Elon can't take the heat, and that's it.
I was at the T Swift show, and she's like, "I can't get any of my tweets through." I was like, "Have you done that?" I've tried it from my computer and my phone. Like I could
Incognito, all of it.
Rage through the text. Have you ever guys had that when you're texting somebody and you could just feel the rage through the phone? That was it. It was like, I log out and come back in. She's like, okay, I guess I'll try that. It didn't work. Meanwhile, I should not have texted you that I just tried one from inside the stadium where cell service is hideous, and I got one out.
Yep. You did. You did tell me that, which was great.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot.
It was fun.
We have one review. Let's get to it real quick. It comes from Sadie923. Sadie923. Shout out Sadie923. Says best TI podcast. Well, obviously, Sadie.
Thank you.
Love this podcast. And I am torn every week between rushing to listen and to saving it so it won't be over. Love the nicknames. Love the ass of the week. Love it all. All of the yelling, please.
Oh, thank you for encouraging our screaming. My ears are bleeding. Thank you for the engagement. You are the best. Appreciate you always. We also got a hottie.
Yay.
We have Adrian Cooper. Welcome to the hotties, Miss Adrian. We appreciate you coming on in. We did have a hot discussion in the hotties about the secret episode. So if you guys want to chat with us about it, there is a post about that. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think is going to happen with Roberto and Vanessa. I would love to hear if I am right or if somehow Stephen is correct on this chicken salad situation. Very important things are being discussed that we need to get to the bottom of. So let us know in the hotties.
Yeah, please. Also, programming note, if you guys are not listening to Challenge, we will be shifting over to Challenge here soon. I don't think we're doing a reunion episode as of right now, so the next episode will be the last episode that goes up on the 23rd, and we'll be in full Challenge mode then. I will be out of town at the end of August, so we'll be doing that, and hopefully new shows get announced that we need to recap.
Fingers crossed. We're kind of tired, but we do it for you because we love you and we love these shows. They're a good time. If you are just a Temptation Island person and you are looking for a show after Temptation Island's over, the Challenge USA, and I cannot believe I'm about to say this right now, is looking very promising. I would suggest heading over and taking a look at the Challenge USA and listening to our recaps. I feel good about it. Now, I might regret saying this by next week, but we'll see. I feel good about it right now. So check it out if you're free.
There are far less nicknames over there, just for the record.
Yet.
There are far less nicknames.
Yet.
We need some workshopping on those. All right, guys, that does it for this week. Thank you so much. We love you very much, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.